Unimaginable destruction tonight after nearly 24 hours following a tornado touring through Naperville and Woodridge.
This drone footage from the Manhattan Weather Channel shows just how widespread the damage is. So many families will now be forced to rebuild, and many spent the day talking with us and our Fox 32 reporters on the ground. First, here is what we know. This is now a confirmed EF-3 tornado. Wind speeds likely reached 140 miles per hour. Incredibly, there are no known fatalities and at least 8 known injuries. This is the strongest tornado to hit the area since 2015.
I'm just shaking my head. I can't get over the devastation. It's just so sad, and so fast.
Suburban residents still in disbelief at what they survived and what's next.
Our team coverage begins with Elizabeth Matthews and the devastation in Naperville. Elizabeth.
Corey and Don, overnight tornadoes can be so deadly. So many people sleeping unaware of storms around them, but not last night. Like you reported, there were no fatalities here in Naperville or when this tornado struck these several suburbs out here. But there is damage. The fire chief here in Naperville says 22 homes are now uninhabitable. Another 130 homes are damaged.
The cleanup will take weeks and in some cases months. But residents in the Ranch View neighborhood in Naperville say the damage was done in less than a minute.
Obviously, it came through. It felt like a plane was hitting us.
Brandon Piper ran to his basement with his family just after 11 o'clock Monday night. Their home was lifted off its foundation, but still intact and livable. Their neighbor's home leveled.
Kind of traumatizing because I basically grew up in this home.
Shiva Patel says it's his grandparents' home.
So they were sleeping upstairs, and then we thought it would be fine, but then the tornado hit and it was too late to go downstairs.
He says they were tossed from the house and found under the rubble.
You look at that site, you wonder where's the rest of the house. The rest of the house is in the backyard and over to the right. And so that kind of was a blessing in disguise because that rubble could have buried those folks.
The couple was taken to the hospital and will be okay. Naperville officials report a total of 8 injuries and no fatalities, thanks to the sirens and text alerts sent to cell phones. Monday afternoon in the backyard of the house that was leveled on Princeton Circle, dozens of volunteers.
It's important to do this to help people. In this world, if we don't start helping people, we're going to be in big trouble.
There were hundreds of volunteers out here in this neighborhood this afternoon, and I'm sure most of them will be back again tomorrow to help out these residents. Now, this is more good news here in Naperville tonight. The power has been fully restored. This tornado, of course, did not just hit the town of Naperville, but went on to hit neighboring Woodridge. For more on that, we turn to my colleague, Brittany Garzillo. Britt?
Well, Elizabeth, a much different story here in Woodridge. More than 2,100 people here in Woodridge are still without power. Now, officials say the tornado touched down here in this area at about 11:10 last night. More than 100 structures were damaged significantly, including this one you're taking a look at right now. In total, 3 people were taken to the hospital. It's been a long day of cleanup for residents, some of whom won't be sleeping in their homes anytime soon.
I'd say it's a tear down.
This is what's left of one home on Janes Avenue. The front door down, walls off, a view from what's left of the kitchen and living room from the sidewalk. Sandy Barr says her sister owns the home, and thankfully she was able to get to safety.
My son had called her and told her to go to the basement, and thank God he did, because she'd have been in bed and she'd have been hurt.
Nearby, portions of several roofs ripped down to the studs. A metal basketball pole snapped in 2. A trampoline tossed into a tree from across the street. Massive trees where our garage once was.
The insurance company already said that it's not livable.
As Bruno Pluta makes arrangements to stay with family, strangers step up to help clean up. Some traveling an hour or more away to hand deliver food and water to residents still in shock from what happened overnight.
And I was really scared, and then the house started shaking, and then things were moving.
Small acts of kindness going a long way for Woodridge homeowners with a long road ahead.
What you have today could be gone tomorrow.
Well, the Red Cross has set up a temporary shelter about 5 minutes from where we're standing. It's on the 7200 block of Janes Avenue at Thomas Jefferson Junior High School. Reporting live in Woodridge, Brittany Garzillo, Fox 32 News.
Well, the Red Cross has set up a shelter at Thomas Jefferson Junior High School at 7200 Jane Avenue. We'll have more on that coming up at 9:30. In the meantime, more victims of the tornado giving us an up-close look at what they're dealing with in Naperville.
Dane Placco walked with them through the rubble today.
We're on Nutmeg Lane in Naperville, one of the blocks hardest hit by the tornado. In fact, came right down the street from west to east, damaging the houses more on the north side than the south. A lot of contractors here right now and a lot of stories. We talked to the people who live here, and every homeowner has a different story.
Yeah, we're just taking a few things. You know, we just told the family pack up what you need for 2 weeks and then we'll figure out the rest later. We're very thankful no one got hurt, so everything else is just stuff and we can replace stuff. This is pretty much what our whole house looked like. Yeah, all the windows blew in, especially from the front.
The trees, you just see how they just lift up and they were all falling. 3 at the same time. We were so shocked, and then we heard a loud explosion and it was horrible. It was just horrible.
They can't live there. And 2 doors down, half the roof's gone. But it's the old, tornado story where it hits here and doesn't hit here.
Tell me what you're doing.
We're bringing around waters to people around the neighborhood, to whoever needs them and is helping. Got a wagon would be most efficient to do this. We got chips, Capri Suns for some kids, waters, anything that would help.
And then there's this. The giant teddy bear landed on the front yard of this home here on Nutmeg Lane. The owner says he has no idea where it came from. They put it out here, and it's now turned into, you guessed it, a social media star. In Naperville, Dane Placco, Fox 32 News.
And a Woodridge mother says when the storm woke her up, her instincts kicked in to get her kids to safety.
That woman telling our Sally Schulze her family must have a guardian angel.
I was in bed, my ears started popping and the windows kind of shook, and then I felt the wind around me. I slid out of bed, crawled out of my room because I was like, I don't know what's going on, but I got to get my boys. So while I was getting out of my room, my third came out of his and was crying. I pushed him into a little alcove that had a roof because now I felt the rain. And I went to get my 6-year-old, but his room, the door was pushed the opposite way, so it was really stuck. I called for my oldest, and he came in, he shouldered it, got him out, and then we all went downstairs together. My oldest says he doesn't remember me screaming for him, but he's like, I heard screaming. I came upstairs, and I was like, this isn't good. So, and he just wanted to make sure that we all got downstairs, so.
I mean, look at this. You don't have exterior walls or a roof, and you somehow survived that.
Yeah, I don't know what made me decide to slide off the bed and crawl. But I think that's maybe why I did, because how else? If I stood up, I don't know what would have happened. Walls can be replaced and people can't, so that's the silver lining. I've got the people that matter the most, and the walls can be replaced.
At least 8 people were injured badly enough to go to the hospital. We also talked with a doctor today about what kind of injuries are seen in these kinds of events.
One thing, as I mentioned, most injuries occur because of, blunt trauma basically suffered because of, objects that are either collapsing on you, specifically buildings, of course. Of course, other injuries occur because of objects that become missiles, unfortunately, that are actually then flying through the air at high speed because of the high winds. So, particles of glass, 2x4s, anything that's there that can become a projectile and cause penetrating injuries as well. The big thing, of course, is early alerting really helped to make this not such a severe tragedy.
Dr. Wilson said those early alerts got people to the safe areas of their homes just in time.
And to give you an idea of just how strong last night's storms were, take a look at this video ring camera. This is from Naperville. You can see debris flying through the air and then hear what sounds like a freight train as the storm intensifies. In the backyard of that same home, you can see a grill, a basketball hoop, and lawn furniture get tossed around like a plastic bag.